Okay, so after the Grammy snub, I this week has been like the hardest weekend phase that I've
You
ever
got
been
in
in
your
my
feelings a
life.
little bit.
Like I had a big weekend phase sophomore year of high school right after Starboy came out. Uh and it was fire, but I wasn't. I don't know if I was quite ready to really relate, understand the message of the weekend, and really kind of feel it on so many levels. But this week's been emotional. I'll say that.
That's really interesting that Starboy was like, you're like, because I feel like Starboy is the most accessible album he's dropped.
hmm
Either that or like what, Beauty Behind the Madness, maybe.
Yeah, that
But
one was pretty poppy. But
but
Starboy, I feel like, is the most true. Like, yeah, I
all
think it's
right.
most
So
accessible.
after your weekend phase, what are your thoughts on his discography? Like, what do you think is his best music? What do you,
His best music's definitely Trilogy. That's not new information to me. Uh, Rolling Stone has always been like my favorite weekend song. But I don't know if it's my favorite Trilogy song anymore. After like, I don't know. I love the first disc on Trilogy.
yeah,
Uh,
coming down, bro?
the morning.
Oh,
Oh my god, the mornings, Wicked Games.
yeah.
The first disc is so good, and like, I don't know, all of it's amazing. All of it's obviously amazing, but it's
I
been a
get
good week,
very
man.
frustrated when I go through weekend phases now or
Mm-hmm.
recently because like I think the past two times I've went through weekend phases, I've really fallen in love again with Trilogy and how great it is. And then my conclusion I end up coming around to is that wow, he's never gonna be this good again. Or I don't know if he's
Interesting,
let me
because
not say that it's not he's never
finish.
gonna be this good again. He'll never be this raw again.
Yeah, okay, that's a fair way to put it. Because I almost had like a different reaction where I expected, a more mature and a more musically affluent Spencer to revisit the weekend catalog and be like, "Oh, Trilogy is even farther ahead of the rest of his music than I thought it was initially."
Yeah.
But when I went back through, I was like, "Damn, After Hours is right there with the rest of his discography for me. Like, it is not far behind from Trilogy. It's not far from it's right there for me."
I mean, I like After Hours. Be like after Trilogy, it probably goes Trilogy, either After Hours or Beauty Behind the Madness next.
Mm-hmm.
I think I like After Hours a lot. Like that was a really good album.
It was really good. It's and it just, yeah,
It's just
definitely grows on me.
I think Trilogy is a time. I think Trilogy was literally a moment in music history. He shifted the genre. He literally
Mm-hmm.
changed what R&B was and then made like, you know how, perfect example. I don't know if you like mess with movies like this, y'all about it like that. I'm a movie nerd or whatever. Christopher Nolan, when he did the Batman movies, right? And he literally made Batman this dark, brooding hero, changed the way the movie looked, the colors of it. Every big superhero movie following that, you see it with like the Winter Soldier and Captain America and things
Mm-hmm.
like that. They tried to capture that vibe that Christopher Nolan created.
Mm-hmm. It's a similar effect as The Weeknd, definitely. You've
And I don't know if I overrate that, but that definitely just makes me love it so much more.
I just think I think I can see why you like it, because it's always fun to see like direct influence and to be able to draw a really straight line, from one thing to another. And like late 2010s R&B definitely embodied the dark aesthetic that I think was kind of set by Trilogy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and he just did it so well. Like I just haven't seen anyone else do it that well, and it's almost like he created a genre that no one else could ever match him with, and like he damn near can't even match himself.
Mm-hmm. Except I see he kind of did by reinventing himself on After Hours. He kind of did. He matched himself by reinventing himself by not trying to match himself.
Yeah, and I think this is probably his darkest album since
Since Trilogy or Darkest Album
since trilogy,
total?
since trilogy.
I don't know. I don't. My Dear Melancholy.
Man,
I
it
know
was
it's not an
bad.
album.
Who did he break up with for that one?
I don't remember. I don't know. I'm
I
I'm
feel
not
like
hip
that
on the
one was a
drama.
really goofy one. Wasn't it like a Selena Gomez, bro, or something?
Yeah, I think he was dating Selena. I
Yeah,
think.
broke up with Selena. Selena doesn't make that good music, I guess, for him. Doesn't the heartbreak wasn't enough.
I'm just mad at myself that it took this Grammy snub for me to really give After Hours the flowers it deserved, because I feel like I've paid it respect when I've talked about it, but the fact that I didn't have it as like a top 10 album of the year, in hindsight, now seems kind of fucked up. Like come to my year-end list, it's probably going to be slotted in the top 10, no cap.
I don't know if I can do that because I'm thinking if I want to put that in there, I probably got to take time or fuck the world.
Yeah. And that's
tough.
hard. See,
Take time can't go. Take time definitely can't go.
Take time can't go. That album was crazy, but almost like it could, like almost After Hours.
But then what if I add Orange Season onto mine?
Are you about to do that?
Okay, guys. This is a big thing about me. I'm a prisoner of the moment sometimes. That Dom Kennedy Hit Boy, it's really good. I'm probably not gonna put it on my list next time.
I do the same thing.
That's gonna go. Shoo, that's the only one that I see really moving off, and then maybe Brent, honestly.
I was listening to Brent all day today. Oh, that album's so good. It's so good.
That's what I think it's really going to come down to me. Which one hits me more on a personal level? Fuck the World or After Hours. And I know that if I go off that logic. Okay, me saying that statement, which album do you think I would go off of?
Fuck the World.
Yeah.
That's been your shit. You were so excited for that album coming in. Like people
fiending,
weren't.
bro.
Like people were not excited for a new Brent Faiyaz album, but you were fiending. And then you wrote the review. You've been fucking with it.
Yeah, that might be one of mine. But then I had my Weeknd phase over quarantine for a minute too, and After Hours was, bro, like Alone Again is one of the best intros of this year.
Faith is just one of the best songs I've heard this year.
That's yours now.
Huh?
Is that your song now off that tape?
I think so.
Interesting.
It used to be Snow Child, but I think it's Faith now.
Okay.
Oh my god, when he asks her to OD with him, I want you to OD with me. I was like, fuck.
Bro, he be saying the most. That's why, bro. Like, who else is saying that? Like on Trilogy, that type of stuff was getting said every song multiple times. Mm-hmm. That's the energy I need from him, bro. Because if people really want to talk toxicity, it's not even close, bro. He's killing Future. He's killing Future. Oh my god.
I agree. He
bro,
says
these R&B dudes are the real problem, bro. Because Brent's right there with him.
For real, everyone's giving hip hop this image of like, oh, the messaging, guns, violence. Take a listen to some R&B. That's where some real psychological damage can be done. Like they're saying some real shit.
I mean, hey, bro, they think just because they can sing, they can get away with anything, man. And it might work.
It makes it more impactful because when the rappers say shit like that, I mean, you feel it. But with a lot of them, I'm almost numb to it. Almost like this is just rap music. But when these singers be saying shit like,
it's almost more disrespectful. It's almost more disrespectful because it's like, I know you love the way that this sounds. like I know this sounds beautiful to you. It's like saying something crazy to a person in French, and like they just don't know what you're talking about, but they're like, that sounded really nice. I wonder if they still do this. Bro.
No, that's 100% it. 100% it.
Wow.
Like, put this on the news. All the listeners are going to hear is my godly voice. They're going to go stream the album. They don't give a fuck about the message.
That's crazy. I really just thought, like, right now I'm just thinking about all the crazy things that Abel has said throughout his career, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Who hurt him? A lot of people, I guess.
I think a lot of people have heard him.
We've seen a couple of them.